The uses of learning. The successful lawyer is not necessarily the one who memorizes the greatest number of principles of law. On the contrary, the successful lawyer is the one who knows where to find a principle of law, plus a variety of opinions supporting that principle which fit the immediate needs of a given case. In other words, a successful lawyer is he who knows where to find the law he wants when he needs it. This principle applies with equal force to the affairs of industry and business. Henry Ford had but little elementary schooling. Yet he is one of the best educated men in the world because he has acquired the ability to combine natural and economic laws, to say nothing of the minds of men. He has the power to get anything of a material nature he wants. In 1919, Henry Ford brought suit against the Chicago Tribune, charging that newspaper with libelous publication of statements concerning him, one of which was the statement that Ford was an ignoramus and an ignorant pacifist, etc. When the suit came up for trial, the attorneys for the Tribune undertook to prove, by questioning Ford himself, that their statement was true, that he was ignorant, and with this objective in mind, they cross-examined him in all manners of subjects. One question they asked was, "How many soldiers did the British send over to subdue the rebellion in the colonies in 1776? With a dry grin on his face, Ford nonchalantly replied, "I do not know how many, but I have heard there were a lot more than ever went back." As you can imagine, loud laughter from the court, jury, courtroom spectators, and even the frustrated lawyer who had asked the question. This line of interrogation was continued for an hour or more. Ford kept perfectly calm, and meanwhile, finally, however, he had permitted the smart aleck lawyers to play with him until he was tired of it, and in reply to a question which he was particularly obnoxious and insulting, Ford straightened himself out, pointed his finger at the questioning lawyer, and replied, "If I should really wish to answer the foolish question you have just asked, or any of the others you have been asking, let me remind you that I have a row of buttons hanging over my desk, and by placing my finger on the right button, I could call in men who could give me the correct answer to all the questions you have asked, and to many that you have not the intelligence either to ask or answer. Now, will you kindly tell me why I should bother about filling my mind with a lot of useless details in order to answer any fool question that anyone may ask, when all I have able men all about me who can supply me with all the facts I want when I call for them?" The answer is quoted from memory, but it substantially relates Ford's answer. There was silence in the courtroom. The questioning attorney's under jaw dropped down. His eyes opened widely. The judge leaned forward from the bench and gazed in Mr. Ford's direction. Many of the jury awoke and looked around as if they had heard an explosion, which they actually had. In the vernacular of the day, Ford's reply knocked the questioner cold. Up to the time of that reply, the lawyer had been enjoying considerable fun at what he believed to be Ford's expense, by adroitly displaying the lawyer's, sample case of general knowledge and comparing it with what he inferred to be Ford's ignorance as to many events and subjects. But the answer spoiled the lawyer's fun. It also proved once more, to all who had the intelligence to accept the proof, that true education means mind development, not merely the gathering or classifying of knowledge. Ford could not, in all probability, have named the capitals of all the states of the United States, but he could have, and in fact had gathered the capital with which to turn many wheels within every state of the Union.